Welcome to Phoenix on this, the final day of the 2012 WNBA regular season. Phoenix will have its season come to an end. Seattle moving on to the playoffs for the 9th straight year. Rebecca Lobo, let's take a look at tonight's starting lineups brought to you by Adidas.
Lauren Jackson coming off a great game, 11 points in 11 minutes. She is key to Seattle's postseason success. And for Phoenix, DeWanna Bonner, this is the season that she has arrived and become a star, second in the league in scoring, an outstanding and fun player to watch.
Bonner had been a three-time WNBA Sixth Player of the Year award winner, but because of a lot of injuries to Phoenix, thrust into the starting lineup, averaging career highs in points, rebounds, assists, and steals. Phoenix just 7 and 26 on the year. They have lost 6 in a row, and Seattle has gotten Lauren Jackson back. They're getting healthy at the right time. But we do expect her to see limited minutes today as they get ready to take on Minnesota in the first round of the playoffs, and we are underway. Sue Bird with the basketball. Great point guard matchup today with Bird, the veteran, against the rookie Sammy Prahalis. Lauren Jackson right away, and Prahalis and Sue Bird, our point guards, are mic'd up today. We do have special access with them. We will be hearing from them as they are wearing live mics, and Prahalis has one spin out.
Fortunately for everyone, we're on a 5-second delay with those point guards mic'd up.
There's a turnover. Prahalis coming up with it. Prahalis has missed some time with injuries. 6 games because of a right shoulder injury. This is her second game back. Dupree missed everything, so the shot clock did not reset.
And this is a Seattle team that's trying to gear up for the playoffs. They play their first game on Friday at Minnesota. When they've played well, they've taken care of the basketball. And there was a stretch before their last game where they were turning the basketball over, so not a good start early to already have that first turnover in the first minute.
They're averaging the second most turnovers in the league at just under 17 per game. Candace Dupree with the basket. She missed 21 games after having left knee surgery. And now Dupree gets the rebound. Good news for Mercury fans. Dupree has been signed to a multi-year contract. It's a nice look from Prahalis, but Thomas couldn't put it in. Seattle coming in at 15 and 18 will make the playoffs for the 9th straight year, but for the first time will do so with a losing record. Shot clock at 6. It's Shakina Strickland who started today, almost threw it away and ultimately did. Bonner can run the break. Hornbuckle lifts one up from the outside. Thomas to Prahalis, who puts it in.
Crystal Thomas has had a terrific season. She has really done a nice job for this team, gotten a lot more opportunity with the injury to Candace Dupree.
Thomas originally drafted by Seattle, who ended up here, and has been doing a lot of work with assistant coach Earl Curitan, who has really helped Thomas get more comfortable at the pro level. Bird leaves it short, long rebound. Prahalis wisely lets it go out of bounds. First sub, Alicia Clark coming in for Strickland. Clark, a rookie out of Middle Tennessee who did not make a roster. Drafted originally by San Antonio, cut twice by them, and now is in the WNBA. Clark was a terrific scorer, in fact, led the nation in scoring her first 2 years. Or last 2 years, excuse me, at Middle Tennessee State.
You heard Sue Bird tell Lauren Jackson 2-2. That just means they're going into their 2-3 zone defense.
Bonner with the miss. Hornbuckle gets bumped by Bird.
Phoenix has been all over the offensive glass. Is that third offensive rebound so far already?
Three people on one side like that.
First foul on Bird. Mercury with 6 rebounds, Seattle only with 2. Jackson coming up with the block.
Sue Bird just a little bit out of sync. She's a person who takes care of the basketball. That's her second turnover already early in this game. But you're going to hear a lot of talking, especially if Seattle stays in the zone. A key to a good zone defense is a lot of communication, because you're not with one player the whole time. You have to be able to talk to players as the offense is going and cutting through.
Dupree with a good fake to get Jackson out of her face, and then she's fouled as she put up the shot. Camille Little called for the foul. And that sends Dupree to the free throw line. Playoffs beginning on Thursday on ESPN2. New York takes on Connecticut, then San Antonio at LA. That all begins at 8 Eastern. On Friday, some quick plane trips. Then we have Atlanta at Indiana, followed by Seattle at Minnesota at 7 Eastern. And then NBA TV takes over on Saturday with a pair of games. LA, San Antonio, and Connecticut, and New York. ESPN will be all the way through to the WNBA Finals with you. Thomas came out and fouled Sue Bird.
Horns up is a play that Seattle runs a lot. And it's the two screeners, the two players screening high. Sue can choose which side to go to.
Camille Little with a nice move on the baseline in traffic. That's the first bucket for Seattle.
Camille has been a steady, terrific presence for Seattle all season long, both on the offensive and defensive ends, as you see her get the steal.
Just force that turnover, and from the outside, Sue Bird dials up a three. That's 5 quick points for the Storm. Bird coming off yet another Olympic gold medal. Bonner left all alone. Bird trying to get it down to Alicia Clark, but Hornbuckle was able to run it down. Dupree stepped back. Expect Seattle to use different lineups. Mercury just 2 of 11 from the floor, but still up by 1. And Waters will check in along with Shakina Strickland at the next whistle for Seattle. Bird again with that little patented moving jumper of hers. She has 5.
And Seattle has had a lot of nice contributions from different players throughout the year. Camille Little has been really consistent. Tanisha Wright, who's not playing, has had some really good games, as has Ann Waters. But to win a championship, to make it to the Western Conference Finals, they need great performances from Lauren Jackson and Sue Bird. That doesn't change.
They have been the 2 stalwarts for this franchise. Prahalis with the 3. Lauren Jackson can't get it. Little again makes a good play with the rebound. Clark. Ball goes over to Phoenix. Nakia Sanford and Lynetta Kaiser coming in for the Mercury. Bird will take a rest along with Jackson, and we expect them to take prolonged periods of rest in this game.
Yeah, both those players. Lauren has been limited because she's coming off of a hamstring injury. Sue with a hip flexor.
So the mic you hear on the floor is being worn by Prahalis. Sanford just in the game got Waters up in the air and got a bucket.
Nakia Sanford is quietly productive. She doesn't do anything with a lot of flash, but she's productive.
Started 15 games this year, coming off the bench now and contributing. Phoenix with the early lead over Seattle.
ESPN's coverage of the WNBA is brought to you by Nike Women. Just do it. And State Farm. For auto, home, life, and banking, get to a better state.
Seattle with 5 turnovers and only 3 field goals, still only down 4 to Phoenix in this season closer for both teams. Pam Ward along with the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo as we go into the playoffs, which begin on Thursday. Minnesota appears to be the team to beat once again.
Yeah, without question. And it becomes not can you beat Minnesota in one game, but can you beat them in the series? They've been most consistent of any team. They've got an outstanding bench, and that's one of the things that separates them. But for other teams, it's who's going to be healthy. How healthy are Lauren Jackson and Sue Bird? Asia Jones for Connecticut. In Indiana, they lost a couple players with concussion symptoms. And then can a team other than Detroit finally win a championship from the East? I think obviously this year, the team that would be the favorite from the East would be Connecticut.
with the best record in the East. Houston did win the first WNBA championship as a member of the Eastern Conference.
Yeah, but they're not in the East.
They're not in the East. And Detroit's not in the East anymore either. DeWanna Bonner.
Well, Detroit is, but the Shock are not.
That's true.
Most people would still say
Geographically, Detroit is in the East. The Shock
or Central
are in the Western Conference.
Nice shot by DeWanna Bonner.
Phoenix on an 8-0 run. It's been a game of runs. And that's too tall for Ann Waters, which is saying something because she's about 6'4" or so. That's 6 turnovers now against Seattle. Waters back in the WNBA after sitting out the last couple of years. The #1 overall pick with Cleveland, the late great Rockers in the 2000 draft. Kaiser with the miss, Katie Smith with the rebound. We have 3 of the top 4 scorers in the history of the WNBA in this game, and Katie Smith is one of them, along with Lauren Jackson. Tina Thompson went over the 7,000 point mark earlier this week. And that's thrown in the vicinity of Nancy Darsh. Turnover. Darsh, one of the assistants to Brian Agler, along with Jenny Busick.
Full timeout.
Full timeout has been called by Seattle. Brian Agler not happy with the way his team is playing. They are down 7. We'll take a break as well. Monday Night Football coming your way tomorrow night in Seattle at 6:30 Eastern. It's Monday Night Countdown served by Applebee's. And at 8:30 Eastern time, Aaron Rodgers leads the Packers into Seattle to take on the Seahawks. Monday Night Football coming your way tomorrow at 8:30 on ESPN. WNBA playoffs again getting underway on Thursday. Connecticut and Minnesota, the respective top seeds.
And I'm looking at that San Antonio, Los Angeles series. That intrigues me. San Antonio won 4 of the matchups. LA only won 1 of those matchups. But right now, LA is the team that's playing a little bit better basketball. LA tied with Seattle for best home record, but they're not playing that game at the Staples Center. So that's just going to be an interesting matchup all around.
They will be at the Galen Center on the campus of USC. Dan Hughes says he likes that matchup. Katie Smith left a little bit short. He would because his team did take 3 out of 4 during the regular year against them.
Of course, the 1 home loss that LA suffered was to San Antonio. But again, that was at the Staples Center. You wonder how much that's going to impact the game.
DeWanna Bonner off the glass on the move.
DeWanna Bonner's just had a breakout year. The last 3 years, she was the 6th woman in the league. And she's just come out as a star this year. Camille Little doing what she's done all season long, and that's just been a consistent presence inside. She's terrific at driving to the basket as well.
DeWanna Bonner definitely a candidate and one of the front runners certainly for most improved player in the WNBA this year. Kaiser can't get it. Sanford with the offensive rebound. Sharday Houston had a fresh, they did not reset the shot clock actually, and she missed from the outside. So DeWanna Bonner, career highs in scoring, rebounds, assists, and steals. The first 3 seasons when she was the 6th woman of the year every year versus being a starter.
And her minutes are up, yes, but her opportunity is there because you don't have Diana Taurasi and Penny Taylor as your 1-2 option, or for most of the season, Candace Dupree either. But with that also comes the double teams that were normally with Diana Taurasi and Penny Taylor, and she stepped up and had a magnificent year. It's going to be exciting to see her on the court in long stretches next year alongside Taylor and Taurasi.
Yep, there is Penny Taylor, who's been out all year after she tore her ACL in the spring. Diana Taurasi has missed now this is her 26th game of the year. Strained left hip flexor that bothered her earlier in the year, and then Corey Gaines, when we were here about 10 days ago, decided to shut her down for the entire season. So that's a lot of talent and a lot of production on the bench for this Phoenix team.
And Corey Gaines said in the last game that you guys did here against Connecticut, so Diana Taurasi has been playing a long time without a break. If anybody deserves to rest her body a little bit, is Taurasi, and I don't fault them one bit for that.
Coming back from the Olympics, leading her team to another gold medal. She now has 3 of them. And there is Diana Taurasi, who has been the perennial scoring leader in this league, led the WNBA in scoring 4 straight years, 5 times in 6 years. Career lows for her this year in points, only 14 points a game. As Prahalis yells out a play. Tina Thompson will check in at the next opportunity, the league's first 7,000-point scorer, and that's a charge on Little. That's 2 on Camille.
Seattle's 9th turnover, Pam, in this first quarter. 9 turnovers. And this is a team, we talked to Brian Agler about it before the game. We said, you know, when you've had high turnover games, what's been the reason? He said Sue Bird hasn't been on the floor. That's not been the case today. Sue actually has quite a few turnovers here in this game. But that's going to come in a game like this when you have a lot of different lineups and different players not used to playing with one another on the floor.
Sharday Houston taking it right up against Waters, who kind of volleyballs it out to Strickland. We're inside a minute to go in the first quarter. And Strickland goes coast to coast.
She goes one speed. When she gets the ball, she goes hard. It's been fun to watch that rookie develop over the course of this season.
2nd overall pick this year in the draft behind Nneka Ogwumike, who is going to win the Rookie of the Year award, unless something really funky happens.
Yeah, no, she's going to win the award.
Prahalis knocking it out of bounds. Prahalis out of Ohio State, the 6th overall pick, and made an immediate impact here. Corey Gaines loves working with her, says that she picks stuff up very quickly and is able to incorporate it at game speed almost right away. Bird over the rookie, and Prahalis gets the rebound. Prahalis dribbles around for about 12 seconds, then took the jumper. Sanford almost forced the turnover. Seattle trying to get a shot off. Clark does. Nope. I thought they were going to call a foul, but Clark stepped on the baseline. 10 turnovers for Seattle in this quarter. Almost as many turnovers as points. And the first quarter comes to a close as Corey Gaines talks to his rookie point guard. The Storm only scoring 11 points. We are in Phoenix on a sunny day. Phoenix leading the Storm by 5 as the first quarter comes to a close.
Back to Phoenix, I'm joined now by Seattle coach Brian Agler. You told us we'd see a lot of different matchups. What are you trying to get accomplished in a game like this leading into the playoffs?
Well, we're down in numbers, so we're trying to conserve energy. We've probably played more zone in 1 quarter here than we have in 5 years. But, you know, we're just trying to get through this. Obviously, we're going to try to win the game, but we've got to conserve a little bit going into the second half.
High turnover game so far, 10 in that first quarter. What do you need to do to get better on the offensive end?
Well, we've got to take care of the basketball, make better passes, make better decisions.
Hey, Coach, thank you. Pam?
Second quarter is underway. Seattle going to play Minnesota in game 1 of that playoff series later on in the week. Delana Bonner hits again.
But the one thing you need to know defensively when you're in the zone and you're playing Phoenix, Pam, where Delana Bonner is on the floor.
Yes. Sam Prahalis. They call her Sammy here.
It sounds so weird to hear the PA announcer say number 99. It's a football number, right?
Yes,
It's not a whole lot of basketball 99s floating around.
She said she took number 99 because she wanted something different, which is Sammy, and that was the number that Rick Vaughn, the Wild Thing, remember in the Major League movie, that was Charlie Sheen's? That's why she wanted 99.
Isn't she too young to know that movie?
Well, it does exist out there in rerun form. But she thought about number 55 for Jason Williams, but she decided to go with the Wild Thing.
All right.
She is the second 99 in WNBA history. I'll buy you a candy bar if you can think of the first one. Number 99 puts it up and off the mark. Rebound goes over to Seattle.
And time for defense.
Thumbs up strong.
Again, we have Samantha Prahalis mic'd out there.
Defense.
Sue Bird also mic'd, but she has taken a break on the bench.
And if they're good teammates, they will have told all of their teammates that they're mic'd.
You would want to know
I learned that. Oh, yes.
Did you learn it the hard way?
It never got on air, but I said a few things on the bench to teammates who would then say, by the way, I'm mic'd. What a nice drive by Katie Smith. She's been playing really well lately, especially the last few games. Her shot has been on. She's been taking it to the basket hard. And this is a player that's important to Seattle. I mean, she's done so much in her career, and there have been times in the last season or two where her shots gone away. But she always does the other thing. She always plays hard defense. She's always in the right spot on the floor. So it's important that now, in the last two games and leading into the playoffs, that she's really found her offense.
Katie Smith is 38 years old, been in this league. Now this is her 14th year. Played in the old ABL, won a couple of titles when Brian Agler was her head coach at Columbus. Strickland.
Pretty offense by Seattle. When they move the ball around and get the ball to the open player, fun team to watch.
Seattle only down by 2.
But it is weird watching them go back into a zone every possession down the floor.
That is not usually what you will see from a Brian Agler team. Bonner again with the step around Smith. Oh my. So skilled. The fourth-year player out of Auburn, listed at 6'4", 137.
She left the net up. So the referee tried to shoot the ball through to fix the net, and she missed. But they fortunately got it fixed. I mean, she gets her shot off because she's so long. She's got great vision. She almost always can get a good look at the basket.
Tough matchup. She can play really 1 through 5 on the floor. Funky shot by Coburn that doesn't go in. And now Prahalis on the break.
In deep range.
Just had that one cup out. Prahalis with a smile on her face. Misha Clark lost it momentarily. And Samantha Prahalis cannot wait, as you might imagine, for next year when she'll have Taurasi, Penny Taylor, and a lottery pick to throw the ball to.
She'll have a few options on the offensive end.
Already, Prahalis are averaging 4.5 assists per game. That is tops among rookies. Also tops among rookies in free throw percentage, minutes per game. Katie Smith in and out. So Bird, Smith, and Jackson all on the floor at the same time. This is the starting 5 back there for Seattle.
And those are the shots that Lauren Jackson was making in the first half against San Antonio in their last game.
That's a foul on Jackson. She's perplexed about that call. So ESPN will present the 2013 draft lottery coming up on Wednesday, and these are the top 3 prospects. It's a terrific, top-heavy draft.
All great prospects. Brittany Griner is going to be the #1 pick, period. And then it's going to be, these 3 players will immediately make their teams better. And all of those 4 teams that are in the lottery are hoping they're getting that 1 pick because Brittany Griner is a game changer. She will completely change whichever team she goes to.
That draft lottery will be coming live on ESPN during SportsCenter on Wednesday during the 6 p.m. Eastern Time edition of SportsCenter. Again, that's coming up Wednesday, September 26th. Carolyn Peck will be in there handling that.
And it's crazy to think that this Phoenix team, that Corey Gaines, could have Brittany Griner on their team next year. They're in the sweepstakes to get Brittany Griner.
Does he take Brittany Griner?
Yes.
He's enamored a little bit with that kid at Delaware.
He takes Brittany Griner.
All right.
He can be enamored with anybody else.
We might have bet another candy bar on that one. The answer is Hamshatu Magabai, by the way.
The only way he doesn't take Brittany Griner is if he trades away. Brittany Griner's going #1. No one's going to pass up Brittany Griner. Are you crazy?
Yes, I am. We just had a shot of Ann Myers, who is the former general manager here, now vice president for both the Mercury and the Phoenix Suns. But Delagon would fit in well with this system. But you're right, you take Griner and you could trade her, and
There's no one like Brittany Griner in the world. There's no women's basketball player like Brittany Griner in the world, period.
agreed.
But that's a way to become
Would Delagon
that's a
be a
way to
better
become
fit?
a former GM. That's how Pam Ward would go from a GM to a former GM, would be to pass on Brittany Griner.
Inside.
Oh, what a pass!
Katie Smith pulls up. Thomas came in aggressively for the rebound, but it's off her hands and stays with Seattle. We will take a break. Phoenix with a 2-point lead over Lauren Jackson, Seattle Storm. Thank you very much, Cindy. And tonight, on baseball's biggest stage, the Dodgers try to keep their wild card hopes alive as they go on the road to take on the NL Central Division champion Reds. Sunday Night Baseball presented by Taco Bell. Dodgers Reds tonight at 8 Eastern on ESPN. Reds the first team to clinch a division. Nationals in the playoffs as the season winds down. In Major League Baseball, this is the last day of the WNBA regular season. Jackson, nice turnaround.
One of her shots going down, she's so good. Lauren Jackson's so good.
In her 12th year. Prahalis gives it back to Dupree. Left it well short. Here's Katie Smith on the run. Strickland goes right at Bonner and put it in.
Shakina Strickland goes hard to the basket. She'll step back and take a three, but very comfortable getting inside, looking for contact.
Seattle scored the last 8 points of this game. They're up 2. Shot clock at 3. Dupree has to shoot it. Rebound into the hands of Lauren Jackson, who is battling Crystal Thomas. Bird, nice shake to get around Prahalis and put in the shot. And Corey Gaines wants a timeout to stop this now 10, make it 11-0 Seattle run. Take a quick timeout here in Phoenix. Seattle looking good right now, up 5. Welcome back to Phoenix. We have had Sue Bird mic'd up all afternoon. Let's take a listen.
Go back! We can't have 2 people, 3 people on one side like that. Strong, what do you go through? Strong, run it. Lauren, if I go under the drags, don't hedge. No, it happened before, but you know what I'm saying? Okay. You're supposed to come over, but if I go under, don't hedge. Just let me go under.
The reason Sue's telling Lauren not to hedge, if she's going under the screen, this is an on-ball screen, and Lauren Jackson steps out and hedges, then Sue might run into her. It makes her job much more difficult defensively. She wants Lauren just to stay with her own defender. That gives Sue a clear path to go under the screen. It wasn't the scheme that they're supposed to run, but that happens sometimes. Great communication from the point guard to her center.
That's one of the reasons why Sue Bird is one of the best point guards in the world. She is taking a break right now. Phoenix has missed 13 of its last 16 shots. Seattle with its largest lead of the game on an 11-0 run.
Seattle stopped turning the basketball over. They had 1 turnover early in the quarter, haven't turned the ball over since, and when they run their offense, it's good offense.
Team that's sitting 15-18 on the season. Clark with the 3. Terrific scorer in her collegiate career. Had a 50-point and a 48-point game as a senior at Middle Tennessee State. Shot clock at 5. Nakia Sanford from the outside. Can't get it to go down.
If you're going to play zone like Seattle's playing, you might as well have Ann Waters and Lauren Jackson in at the same time. It's a lot of size and a lot of length with their arms up, covering up the back.
Waters at 6'4". Jackson now listed at 6'6". Had been listed at 6'5" in years past. Waters with the miss. Rebound taken down by Thomas. And you heard Prahalis say, gimme, gimme, gimme. She wanted the ball.
That's when a point guard and a 4-year-old can have something in common.
Shot clock at 10.
I didn't see it.
Prahalis, almost a polarizing figure when she played at Ohio State. Kind of the player that the other team's fans love to hate. But there's no doubting her talent. And again, Corey Gaines has said she's been terrific to work with. Bono misses, and then fouls Smith foolishly in the backcourt.
Corey Gaines will be in Bristol for that draft lottery this coming week, and he's going to have a pretty happy offseason, I would imagine, especially if he gets one of those top 3 picks. Just thinking about what he's going to have on the floor next season.
Nice pass into Little, who delivers.
Nice high-low. And Waters has good vision. There's times when she can turn the basketball over trying to make that pass, but a willing and capable passer.
Again, the draft lottery coming your way Wednesday during the 6 o'clock Eastern Sports Center. And that shot stops a 16-0 Seattle run.
I got it.
Waters with the ball. Thomas with another rebound, and Prahalis doesn't have to say gimme this time. They gave it to her right away.
I think it was gimme, gimme, gimme.
Yes. And then she shoots it and got fouled. So Prahalis from Long Island heads to the free throw line. And she will be shooting 3 free throws.
Posting.
Players are more likely to get a foul called on the shot if they scream afterwards. No one's better at that than Swin Cash throughout her career.
Now they're going to look at the play to see whether or not
Shoot a 2 or a 3.
thank you, Sue, whether or not it was a 2 or a 3, whether they should give her 2 free throws or 3 free throws. Sue explaining to her teammates why they went to the monitor. And it's a 2.
That's a 2.
It should be quick. Eric Bruton, Madge Forsberg, Kurt Walker, our officials here in Phoenix.
And Strickland did have her left hand on Prahalis, but I'm telling you, if Prahalis didn't scream, the likelihood of that foul being called diminishes.
So are you telling all the young people out there to scream?
Yes. Okay. It's sort of more of a yelp.
So Sammy heading to the free throw line, an 86% free throw shooter, the best free throw shooter of any rookie in the league. Big Ten Player of the Year at Ohio State. Jim Foster, her coach there, has called her the most frustrating player he perhaps has ever coached, but also perhaps the most talented.
Thank you. Finally, man.
Has that brashness about her, but you ever talk to her off the floor, she's almost shy and talks like a little kid.
Soft-spoken, yeah. You have to have a little bit of an edge to be a terrific player. Just it's true about all the great players. They have that something special.
Prahalis guarding Smith. Waters dials it up from the outside, no good. Thomas took it away from her own teammate. Sharday Houston gonna shoot it. You could tell from the time Prahalis gave it to her that Sharday was not gonna give it back up.
Of course, Crystal Thomas was going to take that rebound away from her teammate last time down. 4 games in a row, she's had double-figure rebounding. That's how big guys make their money, especially Thomas. She's not known so much for the scoring. She needs those boards.
Thomas called for the foul. She's averaging 7.7 rebounds per game, tops on this team. A couple of rookies now, Strickland and Prahalis. Waters gives it up to Little, back to Smith. Flip pass to Strickland, good ball movement, but they can't get the bucket.
I think Ann Waters should have taken that first shot when she had the chance. She was in the paint. It's a good shot for her.
Sanford could not handle it cleanly, and they get her for a walk.
That was tough because, yeah, and Prahalis is saying my bad because she threw it behind Sanford. You've got to know your personnel. You don't want to throw it to a player like Nakia Sanford to make her grab it behind and make an extra special play.
You big guys can't handle those passes from behind, right?
Some big guys cannot. Yes, and I was probably one of them.
Just over a minute left to go in the first half. That's Rebecca Lobo. I'm Pam Ward joining you from Phoenix. Final day of the WNBA regular season. Clark over Sanford. Bonner on the run. Gives it to Houston. Terrific execution by Bonner.
Again, that's such good vision. Dewana Bonner at 6'4", coming down the floor, can see. She knows if she can deliver that pass, no defense is going to get in the way.
Phoenix has scored the last 6 points to get to within 4. They have trailed by as many as 10. Not a backcourt violation. They're calling a tip. And now it's being overruled. Kurt Walker doing a good job to say that he saw it, and it is indeed a backcourt violation. That was only the second Seattle turnover this quarter after they had 10 in the first quarter. Coming up, the WNBA halftime report presented by State Farm. Cindy Brunson in the studio. Get you up to date on this final day of the regular season. Of course, the NFL going on, Major League Baseball pennant races, a lot of stuff happening on this Sunday. We are going to take a timeout along with Seattle. They're going to see if they can dial up a play that'll get them a bucket with 8.5 seconds left to go in the half.
That's a game I think you're going to have a chance to see who I think is going to be the WNBA MVP, and that's Tina Charles. And their 4 wins against New York, she averaged over 20 points. In their 1 loss, it was right after the Olympics, she had 4. She has just been absolutely terrific all season long, especially against New York.
Tina is a New York City native. That game will be played at Mohegan Sun. Connecticut with the top seed over in the East, and Minnesota with the #1 overall seed for the 2nd straight year.
And Seattle called that timeout with 8 seconds left. And this is a situation where if the playoffs aren't starting soon, I don't think Brian Agler calls that timeout. I think right now he's getting his team and himself kind of in playoff mode. Got 8 seconds, let's run the play, get the shot that I want to get.
Strickland got it knocked away by Houston, but stays with the Storm because the ball was on the sideline. Dewana Bonner is in the backcourt, limping now to try to get into the front court. Waters with the quick shot. Seattle outscoring Phoenix 21-12 in that 2nd quarter, but Phoenix close on a 6-0 run. It is 32-28 at the half. Coming up on the State Farm halftime report, Cindy Brunson will preview the WNBA playoffs. Also looking at the Lynx and the Silver Stars as they are playing today. At the half, Phoenix down 4. We'll go to the halftime report presented by State Farm after these messages. Rebecca Lobo, what do you see?
Well, I think for Seattle, what hurt them were their 12 turnovers, but they really cleaned that up in the latter part of the 2nd quarter. Led to some points for Phoenix, so Phoenix only shooting 28%. I mean, for a Phoenix team, any Phoenix team to only have 28 points in a half is low.
Remember, this was a team that led the league in scoring the last several years, but many of their stars are out for the year. Pam Ward, along with the Hall of Famer Rebecca Lobo, says Seattle is getting ready. They have a losing record, but they appear to be getting set to make a run in the playoffs.
And the most important thing for Seattle is developing chemistry. But the 2 players that they have to have on the floor to be successful in the playoffs are Lauren Jackson and Sue Bird. So the most important stat we can look at is the minutes. Sue Bird and Lauren Jackson both playing 10 minutes in that first half, and they were productive. And especially look at the bottom, the plus minus with Jackson on the floor, they're plus 10. It's not even just about her scoring. She rebounds the basketball. She's a terrific shot blocking, shot changing presence on the defensive end. The more these 2 can play together, get their chemistry back, start clicking with the rest of the team, the better it is for Seattle.
And we got you to a better state, brought to you by State Farm and the Seattle fans, many of whom, you have to give Seattle fans credit. There's a ton of Seattle fans.
60 Seattle fans made the trip down, flew down for this game. I'm looking forward. I'm going to be out there, what is that, Sunday, doing the game 2 of Minnesota at Seattle, and that's a fun place to play with, or fun place to be when those fans get really loud.
Consistently probably the best and loudest atmosphere in the WNBA. Key Arena is great, a little small gym, and that will be a fun series.
And we're talking about Lauren Jackson and Sue Bird, no surprise. When Seattle made their 16-0 run, Sue Bird was on the floor the entire time. Lauren Jackson was on it for 14 of the 16. That's not a coincidence.
Yeah, funny how that happens. Hornbuckle comes out firing right away and misses. She was 0 for 4 during the game. Waters gets hit by Candice Dupree. First foul on Candice. This is a breast health awareness game, as you can probably tell by the pink uniforms being sported and the nice pink shoes for the Phoenix Mercury, part of the WNBA initiative to raise awareness and funds to help combat that disease. And there were several breast cancer survivors here for a pregame ceremony. The national anthem sung very well by one as well, as the league continues on this very successful initiative. Waters hitting 1 of 2. Shot clock at 7, and Bonner with the miss. Rebound run down. Oh, that's a veteran play by Katie Smith. Hornbuckle was closing in on it, and Katie Smith, who's been playing pro ball since 1996, picked her.
Well, if you can't get the ball yourself, just don't let anybody else get it either. That's another thing that 4-year-olds learn.
You've heard a lot. We've learned some things about 4-year-olds and WNBA players in this game. Gimme, 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 and how to pick somebody off. If you can't get it, make sure the other guy doesn't.
That's right. Nice post up by Camille Little inside.
Undersized, but really a good heady player. 6th year out of North Carolina.
Nice screen by Crystal Thomas. Somebody on Seattle's got to call that out for Camille Little. She hit the floor.
That's a Duke player screening a Carolina player very hard. Turnover. Waters, alley-oop, and Waters just couldn't get it. It was foul.
Crystal Thomas steps up and sets the screen so Tawana Bonner can just keep going. And, you know, that's up to somebody on the Seattle team to call that out for Camille Little. Duke Carolina, though, a nice call.
Waters, who is from Belgium, played for Cleveland for 3 years, New York for a couple, San Antonio for a couple, did not play in the league in 03, 06, 07, or the last 2 leading up to this one.
Brian Agler signed her knowing that Lauren Jackson was going to be missing from Seattle until the Olympics because she was training with the Australian team, but then Waters got hurt, which they didn't anticipate obviously happening.
Waters and Lauren played together in Spain last winter, and they won the EuroLeague championship.
Candice Dupree continues to just play unassuming, and it's just smooth. She gets the ball offensively inside, a smooth play.
Oh, what a stuff! Thomas came over and stuffed Lauren Jackson. Dupree over Waters. Katie Smith comes up with another rebound. Katie has 5 assists. Seattle's missed 9 of the last 10 shots, and Smith says, shut up, I'll put it in for you. Again, Katie, one of 3 players we have in this game. We have 3 of the top 4 scorers in the history of the league. Lisa Leslie, the only one not still active. Sue Bird has a gimme and puts it in.
Nice recognition by Ann Waters to see once she got possession of that basketball that Sue was able to run out.
Seattle up by 9. Led by 4 at the half. Hornbuckle decided to go inside the lane and challenge the tall players, and she wins the challenge.
Seattle didn't play any defense on that possession. Hornbuckle went down the lane. There weren't a whole lot of green bodies there stopping her.
That is an 8-second violation. Sue Bird could not get it over midcourt in time.
Into the storm line,
It's not your fault.
And then for the Mercury 43, Nakia Sanford.
I have a microphone on Sue. What is so annoying?
Probably that she thought it was right at 7.5. Like, what's the why are you really calling that?
Yeah, a quick 8 count. Samantha Prahalis is mic'd up for Phoenix. Oh, that was for Sammy, but she was cutting to the bucket. Turnover gives it to Seattle.
Now, my favorite part about this block, Crystal Thomas on Lauren Jackson, is Lauren Jackson, by the time this game is over, will have forgotten that play ever happened. Crystal Thomas will remember it for the rest of her career.
Could be a little off the iron.
The beauty of the 5-second delay is we still hear everything the players are saying. So we're having an interesting listening experience here today during this game.
Yes. Behind the back to Dupree. Dupree just 3 of 13 from the floor this afternoon. As a team, the Mercury only shooting 28%.
Well, and Candace Dupree, in only her 4th game back, still easing her way after having knee surgery during the Olympic break. Limited to 5 minutes a quarter here tonight. Their last game, 4 minutes a quarter. So Corey Gaines keeping a pretty strict eye on how many minutes she's playing.
Candace Dupree missed 21 games with that knee injury. Before that, she had not missed a game since 2007. 155 straight games she played before she went out with the injury.
Well, even when you look at Diana Taurasi and the limited number of games she played this season, every other year of her career, she played at least 30 games. This is a player who has taken a big load in terms of minutes and games played, and you just take a look at what injuries have done and the number of games missed. When you add up all the games missed for Phoenix, 99 games that their players have missed due to injury this season.
They've lost 6 in a row. They are 7-26 on the season. Waters hits them both. This is the largest lead. But Mercury fans can take heart. You're going to get your stars back. You're going to get a lottery pick. And both of their WNBA championships came the season after they failed to make the playoffs. Hornbuckle for 3.
And the years they failed to make the playoffs, it was generally because of injury. And so you get your injured players back. You get a high draft pick. You're going to be a much better team. Katie Smith saying to Shakina, what are you doing there? Even if you're supposed to be there based on the play that we're running, if you see me dribbling there, move.
Hornbuckle has scored the last 5. She passes it off to Dupree, gets it back. Shot clock inside of 10. Prahalis and Hornbuckle's got to shoot. Tina Thompson is in. She has played limited minutes so far. The veteran, the only original WNBA player left in the league. And again, on Tuesday against Chicago, Tina scored her 7,000th career point. That's a lot.
I mean, just simply one of the best players in the history of the WNBA. Always been a tough matchup for any big player because she has such deep and consistent range from the three-point line. Even this year, still shooting a great percentage from outside the arc. And a very physical and good defender inside.
Shooting 42% from beyond the arc this season, and the career numbers just speak for themselves.
And a great vocal leader. I was on a team with her in Houston, and she just had command of that locker room.
Katie Smith, over 6,000 points, along with Lauren Jackson. Again, 3 of the top 4 scorers in the history of the league, all on Seattle. Sanford can't get the roll.
Great hustle by Alexis Horn. Punch out that ball and get the rebound.
That's kicked. Timeout on the floor. Phoenix trailing by 10 in the regular season finale. As part of WNBA Breast Health Awareness Week, the Phoenix Mercury honored breast cancer survivors during a pregame ceremony and conducted mammograms at the arena. The Mercury also joined teams from across the WNBA throughout the week in an effort to raise funds, awareness, and inspire others in the fight against breast cancer. Log on to WNBA.com for more information. And there are some of the facts. Second most common form of cancer in women, but as you pointed out earlier, Rebecca, the most important line is at the bottom.
I think so, because anyone who is dealing with breast cancer, as a loved one dealing with one, what they're looking for is hope. And when you see the word survivor, that's what you want to be, is a survivor. And to know that there are 2.9 million other women out there, other survivors out there, it gives somebody who's had a recent diagnosis or a family member with a recent diagnosis hope.
And the Phoenix Mercury wearing the pink uniforms, and they will auction off some of those uniforms and some signed basketballs. WNBA.com. Also, there's an auction site where you can bid for basketballs, including a basketball signed by Tamika Catchings. And I'd love to get. But it's a great initiative by the WNBA. Samantha Prahalis mic'd up.
See Tawana Bonner running the point guard position. She's done this at times for Corey Gaines this season. This is a player now who can play all 5 positions on the floor.
Well, that's a lot of contact. Sanford's heading to the line. Kia Sanford's mom is here today. It's her mom Jackie's birthday. They showed her earlier on the big screen. Thompson with the foul. Now Jackie's kid will shoot a free throw. Thursday is when ESPN2 will begin the playoff coverage. New York at Connecticut, followed by San Antonio, LA. 8 Eastern time for that doubleheader. Then on Friday, Atlanta, Indiana, Seattle, Minnesota, starting at 7 Eastern. And then over on NBA TV, they take over on Saturday, LA, San Antonio, and Connecticut, New York. All of them best of 3 in that first round.
I'd imagine the folks out in Indiana are eager. Are eager for that matchup since Atlanta knocked them out of the Eastern Conference Finals a year ago.
Remember Atlanta getting to the finals the last 2 years, even though they were the 3rd and 4th seeds.
And once again, they're one of the hottest teams in the league, winning 7 of their last 8.
They've got McCautry back after that circus atmosphere, so interesting to see how that will play out. Mary Nell Meadows, the coach, being let go. McCautry suspended, stripped of her captaincy, all sorts of drama down in Atlanta this year. But they are definitely a threat, as you said, in these playoffs.
They're playing
like the
well.
last 2 years.
McCautry's playing well after her suspension. She spent 8 games coming off the bench, has started the last 2.
It's already 5 team fouls for Phoenix, so Seattle in the bonus for the rest of the quarter.
I'm in the corner anyway, so. All right. Yo, same play with the. Kia, same play.
There might be a better way to tell your team what you're running, because I think Seattle also knows
Same play. Same play.
the play.
There we go.
Houston gives it up to Sanford inside, and it worked.
Sade Houston's had a really nice season this year, and she's another one of those Phoenix players who have battled some injuries.
Watch the post. Sade.
Missed 7 games with injuries this year. Little from the outside. Waters over the back of Crystal Thomas.
Good job, KT.
A lot of whistles this quarter.
You mentioned Sade Houston. She, along with Alexis Hornbuckle, kind of buried on that bench in Minnesota. Won a championship last year, but there's so much talent on that Minnesota team. They come to Phoenix and get a lot more opportunity.
You know, the plan, I'm sure, was to have Sade Houston be a 6th player off the bench, but with all the injuries, she's been a starter.
Sanford! Great reaction. That is the 4th 3 she has hit this year. Waters got it blocked by Thomas, but the follow by Little. Little into double figures. Too fine of a pass to try to get it in. Katie Smith on the run to Waters. Over to Strickland. And Dewana Bonner got in there to disrupt it. Nobody checked Prahalis. She got a good look, but couldn't get it in. Prahalis to Thomas, who was cutting to the basket, but Waters forced a tie-up.
When you don't have the playoffs to prepare for, the last game of the season, you want to have a little bit of fun. Nakia Sanford, 4th three-pointer of the season. Big guys who don't get to shoot a lot of those are happy when they not only shoot them, but make them.
And you see 21% on the season. She's 1 of 2 today. So that makes her 4 of 16 for the season.
You wouldn't call that a high-volume three-point shooter.
No, you would not. And again, her mom is in attendance, so she got her mom a birthday 3. Sue Bird back into the game. Katie Smith sits down. Sanford and Waters jumping. Prahalis dribbles it out, well short. Bird hustled for the rebound, but stepped out of bounds.
After I get smacked in the face.
Sue Bird with the microphone. You might have heard her say she got slapped in the face.
Yeah. She thinks that's frustrating. It's frustrating.
Who's out there?
Bird also frustrated, wondering who was supposed to check Bonner, who got an open look at a long shot. Ball stays with Phoenix.
2.
Sue Bird with 3 Olympic gold medals, 2 WNBA championships.
Alicia.
Championships at UConn.
Safe to say she's a winner.
Yeah. She's won on every level. He was on the King terrific high school teams in New York as well. And what a great point guard, and now going up against the rookie Prahalis.
And it's going to be a lot of fun watching her in battle with Lindsay Whalen in the first round of the playoffs.
2 best point guards in the league, perhaps.
Olympic teammates.
Strickland got Bonner up in the air.
Crystal Thomas is a beast on the boards this year.
Sharday Houston. Well, they've been a lot of 3-shot in this game. Phoenix 4 for 18 as a team. Strickland got hacked by Houston, who goes over to tell her that it was nothing personal. Houston helps her up. We just talked about these 2 point guards. The leading assist point guards. Lindsay leads by another decimal point.
They command their teams. They're the reason their teams are so successful, because they have a variety of people to pass the ball to. They make the right decisions. They're dynamic. Now, what I would like to see is Lindsay Whalen mic'd, because she doesn't show any emotion. At least we can find out what she's saying during the game.
That series starting Friday night, 9 Eastern time on ESPN2. Should be very entertaining. Sue Bird and Seattle taking on the defending champion Lynx, and Lindsay Whalen, who is stoic on the floor most times.
Nice, Jack.
I actually saw her smiling after they won the gold medal.
We're in 2.
But I asked her pointedly, I said, did you dance? Because the rest of her teammates danced. She looked at me and said, no, I don't dance.
She's
still
sneaky, though.
won't dance.
She's got a great sense of humor. She just is very serious looking on the floor.
Seattle up by 9 as we approach a minute to go in the 3rd quarter. Lynetta Kaiser, the rookie from Maryland, gives it up to Hornbuckle. Bonner moving the whole time. Gets it to Kaiser. Good pass to Thomas. Now that looked good, and Thomas at least has a chance to score from the line. Clark called for the foul. Fans, here's your chance to vote for the WNBA MVP presented by Boost Mobile. Visit www.wnba.com/MVP vote on your computer or mobile device to vote for your MVP. Enter the sweepstakes for a chance to win a trip to the 2012 WNBA Finals presented by Boost Mobile. Voting closes tonight at midnight.
Can you tell me again where to go?
I think you go to WNBA.com/MVP vote.
Did you seriously need to throw in all the W's?
I don't think so. I think I'm going to edit this, even though
anyone who has the internet understands the www.part, by the way.
Thank you, Rebecca. I just feel dumb every time I work with you. Go to WNBA.com. Who are you going to vote for? We both have to have votes as
for
media
MVP?
members. Yeah.
I vote for Tina Charles. She's been consistently outstanding all season long. The absence of Asia Jones for a large stretch. Candace Parker's had a fantastic year. Tamika Catchings has had a fantastic year. I just think Tina Charles has separated herself for what she's done with the East Leading Connecticut Sun.
Tina Thompson separated herself from the three-point line by about 4 feet.
Deep range has been the story of Tina Thompson's three-point shooting throughout the course of her career.
She now has 7,006 career points. Hornbuckle gets it blocked by Thompson. But then Kaiser cleans up. Annetta Kaiser taken in the third round by Tulsa and then cut has been a good pickup by Phoenix. Hornbuckle does not get it off in time. Phoenix led by 4 at the half and now up 53-44. Tina Thompson, the ageless one, the only original WNBA player left in the league from way downtown. Nothing but net.
We started with want, with will, hard work, teamwork. Workouts on weekdays, weeknights, and weekends. We played wherever, whenever, did whatever to clear the way. We're about the wow, the whoa, the what, and the win. We leap walls to wake the generation waiting to be heard. 'Cause in our game, it's all about the W. Boost Mobile, be heard.
Welcome back to Phoenix. I'm joined now by Mercury head coach Corey Gaines. 10 minutes left in your 2012 season. What are you just trying to accomplish this last quarter?
Well, we've been executing some plays down the stretch. They played hard the whole year. It's been a rough year. I got some numbers today. They said we had 22 players on our team, our roster. Missed 108 games for 8 players. And those are players who are starters and stars for us in this league. We've been all-stars. It's been rough, but they've gotten through it. They played hard the whole way. We won some games. We lost more games, but we've learned a lot this year.
Pam Ward and I were debating in the first half. Can you envision a situation where a 6'8" player is not taken with the #1 pick in the upcoming draft?
No, I cannot.
Okay, thanks, Coach. Pam.
Corey Gaines, who cannot talk specifically about players, but the 6'8" player, Brittany Griner, anticipated to be the first player taken in the draft. The lottery coming up on Wednesday on 6 o'clock.
Wasn't your argument that he would take Elena Deladon?
I did not say he would. There was a possibility.
You just said she was a type of player that would fit his system.
That would fit his system. But, as you mentioned, they could still get the top pick, take Brittany Griner, the 6'8" player, trade her, trade the pick, and get Deladon.
There's a situation they could do that, but they're...
That's not going to happen?
No. She's a game changer. Think of her standing next to those two that we just saw on the bench. Brittany Griner, who can dunk at 6'8", block anybody's shot. The way Phoenix likes to run the floor, just think about it. The way Phoenix runs the floor, block shot. What's a better way to get a fast break going than a 6'8" player blocking a shot, your guards running down? How big would that lineup be? Can you imagine Griner, Dewana Bonner, Taylor, Dupree, and Taurasi?
Not bad.
I think Corey Gaines would like to tinker with that lineup a little bit.
Again, the draft lottery coming our way this Wednesday, September 26th, during the 6 p.m. edition of Sports Center, 6 p.m. Eastern. That's 3 o'clock Pacific time, or Mountain Standard Time, because here in Arizona, they don't change their clocks. It confuses me whenever I come here. Tina Thompson will step back. Boy, Thomas Crystal Thomas has 13 rebounds.
All season long, she's been terrific on the boards.
Prahalis short-armed it as Thompson was closing in.
She should have screeched and she might have gotten a foul call.
Well, that was a great play by Tina Thompson just to keep that play alive.
My bad, yeah. I thought it was going in. My fault.
That's a good play by Thompson to get it over to Coburn. But we heard Prahalis talking about the play on the other side.
Her air ball.
Second foul on Hornbuckle.
That's a confident kid.
Oh, yeah.
When you chuck up an air ball, usually you know. Well, it's good that it felt good. Right on line, just a little short.
And you can tell, too, when Prahalis opens her mouth, she's got that New York accent going. My fault. And she's been smiling out there. I look forward to next year when they get all the pieces back.
She's an outstanding passer. To have all those pieces, she's going to love playing on the floor next season.
And I think Taurasi would love playing with someone like that. Interesting personalities between Taurasi and Samantha Prahalis. Two of the more gregarious personalities in the league. Shot clock at 6. Hornbuckle. Thomas, rebound number 14. Nope, she lost it to Tina Thompson.
That's a rebound turnover, right?
You know what? I am so behind. 17 rebounds with that one. It was a rebound and a turnover. So a new career high for Crystal Thomas. Strickland drives.
Hey, what's up?
But when you play with a point guard like Prahalis, you have to
be ready all the
time.
time. Even if you think she's going to shoot the basketball. And that's why it's important for Corey Gaines, even right now, they're not going to the playoffs, to get them some time together. The more time that Prahalis has to play with Dupree, the better they are for next season because of those exact things. That being said, this kind of has felt like a pickup game the last few times on the floor, hasn't it?
Shot clock at 4. Clark just recognized that. Coburn tries to bail him out. Hornbuckle has Prahalis to her left. Prahalis back to Hornbuckle, who was fouled.
The foul number 22, Alicia Clark, her third foul. Second score, team foul.
And because those two have played a lot of minutes together this season, Sammy Prahalis knew she could throw that ball up there and that Hornbuckle could go get it.
So Hornbuckle, after Clark's third personal foul, heads back to the free throw line, but Hornbuckle at only 5'10". Maybe that pass was a little bit too high for her.
It was perfect.
Is it perfect?
Yeah.
In the storm line, number 10, Sue Bird, and 12, and Waters.
Waters and Bird come back in. Smith and Coburn go out.
If I was throwing you an alley-oop pass, Cam,
no, that
it would
look
look
just
just
pass
like
to
that.
me would be a bounce pass.
It would look just like that.
Little, that's nice.
Misconsistency this season for the Seattle Storm.
Picked up her second-round pick from Atlanta
Let's you, Alicia.
a few years ago.
Go, go, go. Stay, stay. Now go, now go, now go.
Sue Bird talking. Oh, wow. Thomas somehow found Bonner with about 3 seconds left on the shot clock. That's Bonner's first bucket of the second half.
Nice job offensively by Phoenix, but I have to tell you, Sue Bird, terrific job communicating with her team. It's vital when you're playing zone defense and so helpful to Alicia Clark that last defensive possession.
Strickland, who started today for Tanisha Wright, who's a little dinged up, and Brian Agger wants to get her some rest. A little battling. Dupree was on the baseline. Seattle ball. Timeout on the floor. Seattle up by 11 in the waning minutes of Phoenix's season.
ESPN's coverage of the WNBA is brought to you by Boost Mobile Marquee, partner of the WNBA. Taco Bell, sometimes you gotta live Moss. And Geico, 15 minutes could save you 15% or more on car insurance.
We're still in the first quarter. And one. Same play with the flare. The one that we just ran? Yes! Yes! Good job, KT. Oh, I thought it was going in. It's all good. It's all good.
The bookends of that were outstanding. Because it's usually players who don't play who look up and think, gosh, we're still in the first quarter, and then I love it. Shoots an air ball, touches nothing, and she thought it was a money ball.
Sammy Prahalis, the 6th overall pick in the last draft, having a great rookie season and doing it with a hodgepodge of players. But she had DeWanna Bonner all year.
I don't know if they're going to like you calling them a hodgepodge.
Well,
but you're right.
I'm not disparaging. What did Corey say? How many different players that came through here?
A lot.
And 22 different players.
One thing they've done all season long is they've consistently played hard all season long. Undermanned, but have played hard.
Players who are out there on the floor have played their butts off. That's Sue Bird for 3.
Over DeWanna Bonner. If you're taking a 3, that's not the arm you want to see coming out your way. DeWanna Bonner is long.
6'4", and long arms.
And somehow she's found a way to look even skinnier in pink. It's a good thing she doesn't play for a team that wears black.
She'd be invisible. Almost. Alicia Clark throws it towards Hornbuckle. She'd be so thin she would disappear.
Right, I got you.
There's Bonner. Lost it on the way in. Clark got the rebound. Yep, Prahalis a little bit too aggressive. Katie Smith coming back in.
Almost Subert holding the ball, stopping and looking at the official, almost daring him to blow his whistle.
Sue takes a seat next to Lauren Jackson. Those two players just getting limited minutes today as they get ready for the playoffs. Svetlana Brasimova not available today. She's out with a sprained right wrist. Clark should have shot it with the shot clock winding down. 20 turnovers for Seattle, but remember they had 10 of them in the first quarter.
They've done a much better job since that first quarter.
Prahalis underneath, turns around. Crystal Thomas again. That, for Thomas, is her first field goal, but she has 18 rebounds.
It's a pretty good day on the boards.
That is one off the franchise record. Dupree had 19 boards in a game last year.
Nice move by Camille Little. One thing you know, if you're going to be defending Camille Little, is she can do that. The spin move back to her right side.
Little with the rebound. As we hit under 2.5 minutes to go in the game.
Go after the rebound, Crystal.
She would have gotten it, but Waters hit the shot.
I want to see a 20 rebound game.
We had one earlier this year on our air with Neko Gwumake. the Rookie of the Year to be. Thomas with 18 rebounds. Carter Houston buries it. The most rebounds by any player this year, 22 by Tina Charles, the probable MVP this year.
Possible MVP.
Possible?
Yeah.
Oh, Katie Smith. She was just a basketball player. Hanging in there as we hit a timeout with $1:38 left to go. Crystal Thomas has been all over the boards today. She's got 18 boards. Thank you, Cindy Brunson, back in Phoenix. Seattle's next game will be game 1 of the playoffs on Friday night on ESPN2. Looking ahead to that series, Minnesota won the season series, but Lauren Jackson didn't play in any of those games.
Lauren Jackson did not play, and this is a different Seattle team, and you can't base a whole lot on today's game because Brian Agler juggling lineups. Sue Bird and Lauren Jackson didn't get heavy minutes here today. They've been terrific when they've been on the floor. When I watched their last game against San Antonio in the first half, Seattle looked like a team that could beat Minnesota. But then in the third quarter against San Antonio, they look like a team that could get swept. They have to find consistency, and it starts with those two players. They're going to have to play big minutes. They're going to have to play well. They're going to have to get contributions from the bench.
Lauren Jackson.
Oh, cool down now, buddy. We got some guys in here.
Lauren Jackson playing 12 minutes. Sue Bird, 19.5 minutes this afternoon. You saw them on the bench. We've had Sue Bird mic'd up all afternoon. Jenny Brusek, the assistant coach, down there chatting with the two superstars. But it will be a very interesting and compelling series, that's for sure, between the champs and Seattle.
But Minnesota's just been consistently terrific all season long. They really have. Maya Moore, since the Olympic break in particular, has been phenomenal. Simone Augustus back healthy, looking good. Lindsay Whalen, the same thing.
They really not only did not miss a beat after the Olympics when they had 3 Olympians in Whalen, Augustus, and also Maya Moore, they were terrific after the break.
Yeah.
Everybody played. We saw a lot of players take time off here and there, but they just went in and they just played like gangbusters.
And Devereaux Peters has looked great coming off the bench. Taj McWilliams getting a little bit of a rest. They're just, they've got it all, and they play terrific defense. It's going to be fun to watch these playoffs.
Minnesota still has to be the favorite to win it all. But it's going to be an interesting first series, and it is just a question if Seattle can kind of come together and be consistent, as Rebecca mentioned. Playoff coverage beginning Thursday night on ESPN2 for us.
Without ignoring the great season LA has had. They've been outstanding at home, 16-1 at home. Christy Tolliver having a monster season. Candace Parker the same. Neko Grunike the same. Elena Beard has come on really strong offensively.
LA and San Antonio in the other Western first round series. San Antonio winning that season series 3-1. Hornbuckle. So Phoenix will end 7-27 on the year. But they're in the lottery. And they're going to get Taurasi, Penny Taylor back. Tina Thompson, the farther away from the basket, the better.
And this is the Powerball lottery year with those 3. Elena Deladon, Brittany Griner, and Skylar Diggins. If you're in the lottery, this is the year you want to be in the lottery.
Tulsa, Chicago,
Washington.
Phoenix, and Washington. Yep, Washington statistically with the best chance of getting the first pick, but that hasn't played out recently. 71-57 is the final for Phoenix. Crystal Thomas, 18 rebounds, half of her team's rebounds this afternoon.
Pretty good.
Very good. One off the franchise record, so a lot to build on for Phoenix, but in the more immediate future, Seattle will go into Minnesota on Friday night and try to knock off the defending champions. 14 points for Camille Little, leading the way for Seattle. We will see a Thursday night for a doubleheader. Seattle wins at 71-57. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. for Rebecca Lobo. I'm Pam Ward. For our entire crew here in Phoenix, we say so long. We'll see you Thursday night for the playoffs. Let's go to Cindy Brunson in the studio.
Pam, thanks so much. A reminder right now on ESPN, 13 laps to go in the Sylvania 300 at New Hampshire. This is the second race in the 10-race chase for the NASCAR Sprint Cup. Brad Keselowski is the chase leader coming into today's action, but with 13 laps to go, Denny Hamlin, the 11, trying to lock this victory down. Again, you can see that right now on ESPN. With that, we welcome you inside the WNBA studios. I'm Cindy Brunson. A reminder as we get set to start those WNBA playoffs on Thursday, we still have some games to take care of today, letting you know what's going on between the defending champion Minnesota Lynx and the San Antonio Silver Stars. Late in the first quarter, Danielle Adams to Danielle Robinson. And San Antonio's up 9. Second quarter, Lynx trying to rally, down 17. Simone Augustus. She gets the 3 to go. She and Maya Moore averaging 33 points a night combined. And then there goes Moore, a 3 of her own. She's averaging 16.6 this season to lead the Lynx. But Danielle Adams takes over with the Silver Stars up 60-47 at the break. Adams gets the 3 to go. And then Adams again, the jumper. You cannot deny her on the baseline. And in the fourth quarter, Adams gets the feed. She would complete the 3-point play. San Antonio gets the victory, 99-84. Minnesota finishes the regular season with the identical record it posted a season ago. Best in the WNBA, 27 up, 7 down. Let's head back out to Phoenix for more on the big win by the Storm.
Thank you, Cindy. Pam Ward along with Rebecca Lobo as Seattle wins at 71-57. And we are joined by superstar point guard Sue Bird. Sue, this game sort of a tune-up towards the playoffs right now?
Yeah, for us it is. You know, we got some people banged up as well, so just trying to kind of get momentum but stay healthy. It's a slippery slope, but I'm glad we got the win. I'm glad it's the end because now we can really gear up for the playoffs.
In your first-round series against Minnesota, you'll be going against your Olympic teammate, Lindsay Whalen. What is that matchup going to be like?
It's tough. You know, Lindsay is a great player. You know, she really is the engine for that team, I think. Gets them in the right place at the right time and also does damage on her own, so you can't just leave her. It's very difficult to play against her, and that team is just so tough. They kill you in so many different ways. So for us, I don't know, we're just going to try to do our best and hopefully shock some people.
You have a lot of championship experience on your team, but you haven't had a lot of time to get together and get that chemistry. How likely is it that you can get that chemistry in a few days between now and Friday?
I guess we'll find out.
Yeah.
You know, that's definitely been the story of our season, just kind of starting with one team, losing some people, having another team getting a flow, losing some people, Olympic break, this, that. So it's been tough. But you know what? Every team has dealt with this, you know, with the Olympic break. And for us, like you just said, we just got to put it together somehow, some way in the next, what, 4 days, 5 days?
Yeah, Lauren Jackson did not play at all in that series, so needless to say, having her back in there is going to be a big boost.
It's huge. You know, I don't think Lauren has played maybe one game in the last 2 years against Minnesota. So they haven't seen her. They haven't seen us with her. So like I said, hopefully we can just put it together and, you know, make it tough on Minnesota, right?
4 turnovers for you tonight, but one of them you give to Brian Agler.
Absolutely.
Explain what happened.
Absolutely. The 8-second call. I had a play in mind. I'm calling it. I'm dribbling up, you know, and they're pressuring a little bit. So Brian screamed my name to call a different play. So I stopped in my tracks. 8 seconds.
Yeah. We'll give it to that.
Yeah,
we'll
put a little mark on that stat sheet.
Right, so thanks a lot. Thanks for wearing the mic today. It was good stuff. And good luck in the playoffs. We'll see you guys on Friday as you take on